Well, Elizabeth, it's time for controversial comment number 2, and I'm going to put you right in the line of fire. It's going to happen. I told you it was going to happen. We're going to do it. So I'd like to compare it to something very contemporary. When Lafayette comes back and people want to see him, how would it compare to something like Taylor Swift right now, who can just pack a stadium with seemingly out even trying? What's the comparison there? Is it about the same?
I would say it's about the same, if not greater. I mean, we can only contain Lafayette's to the United States, where the Taylor Swift's Eras Tour is an international phenomenon. But there was merch that was made in cities prior to his arrival so that people, when they're in the crowd, they could be wearing Lafayette ribbons and have Lafayette flags. There are Lafayette gloves where you can have his face imprinted on a glove. People make dresses. It's like there are costumes that people essentially are wearing during these parades, very similar to how people go to Taylor Swift concerts. It's also boosting the economy in the areas that he's visiting. It is one of what I found the most interesting about this is that it is one of the first documented cases of tourism in the United States, where there are, in smaller towns in Virginia, the number of people who came out to see him were larger than the recorded populations of the town. So in an era before trains, obviously before automobiles and like easier ways to get around, people are traveling and making the effort to go and visit, and then the hopes of seeing him in these places, which is, again, very similar to what we see with the Taylor Swift concert. I make the comparison that Lafayette's tour is very similar to the Eras Tour. I also think it's funny that it's also happening around the same time, like 200 years apart. So that's just a fun little added thing too.